Dr. Smith had back surgery this morning. She's doing fine. She's rested. Everything went as planned, so she'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. But we will move on with our meeting. And at this time, we'll stand for our pledge of allegiance, and if you will, remain standing for our
pledge. The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we bow again at this hour to give your name glory, to give you praise. Thank you, our Father, for all of the gifts and graces that you have given to us and our families. We thank you, our Father, for your love. We thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your comfort. And we thank you for being a God in our midst. Now we invite your presence to be with us in this meeting as we move forward to look at ways and means by which we may move this county forward academically. Father, we thank you for this Hardeman County District. We thank you for the leadership from the main office. We thank you, our Father, for every school, and we thank you, our Father, for every parent and for every student that is a part of this district. And we pray, our Father, that after this meeting will have ended, that everything we will have done and said will in some way bring glory and honor to your holy and divine name. This we pray, this we ask, in the name of Jesus, who is our Christ. And the people of God all said together, Amen.
Before we go on the agenda, I would like to add one thing, if you don't mind. Dr. Shears has asked to recognize us as the board, so if nobody has a problem with that, we'll just slide ahead and try to put the agenda and we'll move forward with everything else. If there's no objection to doing that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion made by Ms. Ayers, second by Mr. Ross. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is our consent agenda. Of course, the only thing on there is our minutes from the January 11th meeting, so I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Ms. Carter,
Second.
second by Reverend Chris, and of course, there's no discussion on that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, Dr. Cheers, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Thank you for this space. At this time, I would like to present to Hardeman County Board members some thank you, sweet treats from pages to say we appreciate you on behalf of Dr. May, the faculty, staff, department, we appreciate you. And you all can get that on the end.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
At this time, we always leave a little spot in our meeting to recognize different people in our system that have done things. Tonight, we've got a couple of things. First, we're going to flip-flop a couple of things. We're going to move Grand Junction Elementary Word School. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to James Rhodes.
Thank you. Every year, the Tennessee Department of Education recognizes reward schools when they demonstrate high levels of performance and/or improvement in performance by meeting their annual measurable objective across performance indicators and student groups. It is with great pride to recognize the students, families, teachers, and administrators of Grand Junction Elementary School on its reward school status. They were also a level 5. Under the leadership of Dr. Linda Buggs and Ms. Marianelle Jackson, Hardeman County Schools would like to express our sincere appreciation for you, your teachers, your students, and their families on their outstanding abilities, contributions, endless instructional hours spent designing lessons, working before and after school with students, and making every instructional moment of the day integral to the daily success for each student. Your hard work, dedication, and commitment have been proven. As a district, we are confident that this newly acknowledged status, Grand Junction Elementary School, will continue their path to success. Congratulations, Grand Junction Elementary School, you did it. Sophie, we have ordered a banner, but it's just not in yet. I apologize. If you would come up to the front, get a picture, please. Is that okay?
Next, we're gonna be recognizing our Teachers of the Year, and sometimes I almost hate to single any one of them out, because I really am proud of every one of our teachers. But these teachers that are here tonight, they've gone above and beyond anything that's been asked or required of them. So at this time, I'm gonna have the principals introduce them. And I know they're gonna be arguing and complimenting each teacher to the extent of theirs is the best teacher, but they're all great teachers, and we appreciate every one of them. So if the principals will all come up.
Okay, Grand Junction Elementary School Teacher of the Year has been in education for 34 years. This is her second year at Grand Junction Elementary. She collaborates and consults well with her colleagues. She possesses the 2 F's. The 2 F's is firm and fairness. So those students respect her and she respects the students. And they all love her. Not only her students. I catch students going down the hallway in the morning. She's standing in the doorway getting all kind of well, she's getting my hugs. So. That's what she's doing. But they absolutely love her. She comes in early. I have not yet to beat her at school. And I can get there at 6:30 and she has been there already 30 minutes or more. She's the type that leaves late. So she is very determined, and I am so proud to announce our Teacher of the Year, Miss Kelly Bennett.
And if y'all don't mind, thank you very much. And if y'all don't mind, stay up front. Y'all could get your picture individually.
Yeah, you get right in the
Stay
center.
up toward the
So
front.
get the two of
Do everybody picture.
Miss Linda too.
She wants a picture of you
There you go.
I have the honor of recognizing Bolivar Central's Teacher of the Year. When I was in the district 12 years ago, she was my mentor, as it was my first year, but this year is Amanda Clutter. Amanda is a level 5 teacher and makes a tremendous impact on our math department at the school, and she absolutely does all of our data and facilitates conversations around data and student growth with other teachers in our building. So congratulations, Amanda Clutter. Yes, Mr. Cracker, come on.
Sure, half and half. We'll smooth.
We don't want to stand her too.
It's my pleasure to introduce the Teacher of the Year for Tune Elementary School. My
learned as I've gotten older, I begin a lot of sentences with "I think." I think this is her 37th year. She is a level 5 teacher, not only this year, but she was level 5 last year. So that tells you what kind of teacher she is and how involved she always are, how involved she is with those students and how effective she is in the classroom. They love her. They learn to really like Harry Potter because she loves Harry Potter. But not only is she Teacher of the Year for Toon Elementary School, I've learned, I think she's Teacher of the Year for the district. And she was previously Teacher of the Year at Toon Elementary in 2018, and she was Teacher of the Year in the district that year as well. So it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Leland Campbell. I can follow the directions.
Hi, I am Principal Sane, and I'm elated to be here with you all this afternoon. I have the pleasure of being the principal at the best school in the district. And we have the best Teacher of the Year, Ms. Chantel Gonzalez. While I talk about it, Ms. G goes above and beyond for our school, for our students, and our staff. She is a ray of sunshine. If you are ever in her presence, you will always remember her. She makes our students feel so awesome. She teaches them to believe in themselves, and she believes in them. She is exciting. She is loving, she is caring, she is creative, and she is innovative. If you ever go into her classroom, you will see why her students love learning in the manner that they do. Our colleagues are impressed by her, and we are blessed to work with her. Our students and parents love her, and so does our community. She is in our extended day school, after school hours. She participates in our extracurricular activities. She even was the announcer for our basketball games. So there is nothing that she will not do for our students to be successful. And so I present to her on tonight with great joy the Teacher of the Year Award.
Bolivar Middle School's Teacher of the Year is Mrs. Robin. Ms. Stebbins is a dedicated, committed, loyal teacher. She's been that for 26 years, and she's always into sports. No matter where she goes, she's always into sports. You can count on her. She's at Central, she's at Bolivar Middle, she's going to be on the baseball field, so we are proud of her for obtaining this award. And we love you, Ms. Stebbins.
Middleton Elementary's Teacher of the Year is Miss Paige Bales. Miss Page was my first student teacher as a principal. She graduated and finished her student teaching in December of 2018, and I hired her in January of 2019. She's so loving and patient with all of her students. She goes above and beyond for her students as well as her MES family. We're truly blessed to have you. Congratulations.
All right, so I started out the year at Bolivar Central High School, and I've been at Middleton High School for about 4 weeks, and for 1.5 of those weeks we were out for snow. So needless to say, I did not select Middleton High School's Teacher of the Year, and so I went to him and I said, look, I didn't pick you, so what do you want me to say? And he said, just make sure you mention my ravishing good looks. But all joking aside, James Davis is our Teacher of the Year at Middleton High School. He was the only level 5 teacher that we had returning this year at Middleton High School. He teaches in the English department, and he also coaches middle school and high school football. So he's active in the school. He really connects with the kids, and he does a great job.
Come on, Lynn, we're not even gonna compete. How many of y'all change drawers? White noses. She teaches 4-year-olds. That's enough said. And she's a level 5 teacher. So to be a level 5 teacher and have 24 and 3-year-olds last year, 14 4-year-olds this year. Let me tell you, I go down there and I can say about 10 minutes, and that's all I can say.
And while they're getting ready for the picture, we did have our Bonneville Elementary Teacher of the Year is not here tonight, Yolanda Thompson, so we'll congratulate her as well.
No, scoot that way.
I love being in the center.
Make sure we can see everybody.
She's on
Miss Sandra, can you slide so we can see you? There we go. Now we can see. Okay.
and actually Miss Bugs is blocked too.
Miss Bugs,
If-
one way.
Yeah, everybody from Miss Bugs over, just move to the right a little bit in the second row. This gives me, yeah, perfect,
There you
perfect,
go.
perfect.
That'll work.
Yeah, stay there, yeah. Thank you for your patience too. Wait, sit. Follow directions, teachers.
I'm good at that.
Thank you very much.
We would also like to thank our principals as well. We have two fine principals in the area, so we are thankful to you guys for being here and supporting us. You don't have to wait.
How y'all doing? Okay, next on our agenda is our district office calendar for 24-25. If you remember, last month we tabled it. And just to refresh your memory, we were discussing, everything that's discussed works around Juneteenth. And calendars were sent out to the board members that would show what both options would do to the summer school. There are basically three options that we have. The first one is to add Juneteenth as a district-wide closed holiday. This will be a paid holiday for 12-month employees. The second option is add Juneteenth as a district-wide floating holiday for that week. This will be a paid holiday for 12-month employees. And the third option is do not add Juneteenth to the holiday calendar. If I'm not mistaken, Lisa, James, y'all correct me. The way we're doing it right now, they're literally just, it's a floating holiday for the district
That's
office
the way it was done
employees,
last
because
year.
they're
Yes.
the only ones working other than summer school.
Yes,
That's what-
that is the way it was done last year.
So it's being observed, it's just being used as a floating holiday where anybody in the central office can use it anywhere they want to that week. So any more opinions or what?
Now, how would it affect us again if we made it, cause I'm not understanding the floating part. What about if we made it just a holiday for all employees?
Well, keep in mind, the teachers are on a contract, they're not even in school at that time, with it being in June. The only people it would affect would be the summer school employees.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
And central office, right?
and the central office, yes, and then again, back to the central office. We had talked about it last month, the problem we run into is correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, Mr. Rutherford, that it would push our summer school back and push it back into June, is that right, July? It's just back into July. And that's what the problem would be, if you pushed it back into another pay period for maybe one or 2 days. And this, keep in mind, anytime you do holidays, it works out that it may be on a Friday this year, but next year it may not be on a Friday. So it's not always the same, so it may not be the same next year as it is this year. It may be more beneficiary, it may be less beneficiary.
Well, most of the time, if it falls on a weekend, it is observed like on a Monday or a Friday. I mean, just like Independence Day, I mean, if it falls on a Saturday, most employees get it, you know, the Friday.
I'm sure y'all do, is that correct? Y'all get, a holiday falls on a Saturday, because you get X number of holidays.
And that is determined by what you guys put on the calendar every year,
That's right.
when we will observe those holidays. The holidays are defined in our policy.
And that's what the 24, 25 calendar would look like right there. And that is without Juneteenth being on there. Is that correct? Yeah. But it's being observed as a floating holiday. Do you want me to kind of go up?
Well, I would like to see it on the calendar. There's a holiday on the calendar.
Well, don't we have other holidays that are not on the calendar, like Columbus Day, Flag Day, President's Day? Well, President's Day's on there. But they're a federal holiday, but not one that we observe, right?
Yeah, we don't observe all federal holidays. No,
holidays, right.
no, no, no.
Right, and I just,
Columbus Day's not on.
yeah, and I understand that, but I still would like to see Juneteenth on the calendar. But I'm just wondering,
And you said it would change summer school how again?
If I understood Dr. Smith last month when she said it would, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Michelle, do you want to address
The
this?
state requires us to do 20 days of summer school,
Mhm.
and so we always try to start that very first week of June, and so if we take a holiday, our teachers have to have that day off too. So it pushes that day over into July most of the time, especially when that, like June, if it falls like June the 30th is that last week. Sometimes it would not, but in most cases it does push our day into July. Otherwise, we would have to start summer school right after Memorial Day, and we lose a lot of our kids those first couple of weeks because they will not come until June. So I mean, it's just, it's however, we just can't go over into that July piece because it starts a new fiscal year.
Right.
So on the years that we do take that holiday and June the 30th is on a Friday, if we were taking that holiday, it could push it into July, that first Monday there. Does that make sense?
it does,
It does.
it does.
So we just have have to make sure we just have to make sure we have 20 days, we are required to do 20 days for summer school by the state.
I guess where I'm missing it, I don't understand the floating thing. How do you take a floating holiday?
The week of June, the week of Juneteenth, we just take that, whatever day we wanna take off. It's not a set day of that holiday, but we just get the day if we wanna take that day.
Yeah, the whole central.
The whole
office
central
not take
office
off
is not,
on that.
yeah, it's not everybody takes the day at the same time. No, Mr. Rutherford might take it Monday, I might take it Tuesday, but that way summer school can still keep rolling, and the central office staff just takes it one day that week.
But you have to take it that week.
That's what we've done.
That's what we did last year. We have to take it that week.
But the teachers are gonna be out one of those days also, right? The summer school teachers?
We
If they're
decide to do
working,
that.
yeah, cause
We-
like,
we-
not every teacher works every day of summer school, so that's, it just depends on when they wanna take it. And they could have a sub that day, if that's the way we needed to work it, we could.
Well, on this calendar, could we just put some asterisks and say Juneteenth is a floating holiday for that week? Without it being listed as a closed holiday? Because it's not. The schools are not in session, and not everyone in the district office takes off that same day.
Personally, I don't see the reason why you can't. I don't know if I use the word promoting, I would probably go ahead and explain it and just say, we'll be taking off at some point this week. Any more comments?
I think to avoid pushing it over to July, we ought to leave it like it, do the floating holiday or.
We're still observing it, and we can, I mean, we can put it on the calendar, I mean, there's no reason why we can't put it on the
So you
calendar.
said it's gonna affect 12-month employees, so how's it gonna affect the teacher?
The summer school teacher.
Just the summer school teacher?
Right.
So they have to work both sessions of summer school to affect them. Is that correct?
And really, they're not considered a 12-month employee because they're getting paid for the hourly, they're getting paid the hours they work that day, so it's not really considered salary. So if they take the day off from summer school, they won't get paid for that day. Because it's an hourly wage, it's coming from a different pool of money.
Because we observe all the other holidays that I can see, except, we're off, or we're observing one or the other of all federal holidays.
This is for,
Although, there's some federal holidays, y'all observe Columbus Day.
We're off on this, we're on this school session on Columbus Day. If you were out for some other reason on Columbus Day.
The district office works on Columbus Day.
Okay.
now this is not for this June, but for next June,
So
right?
yes,
25.
Right, it's 24 or 25th school calendar.
Is that June of 25 has 21 days, instead of 20.
School days.
So it wouldn't affect 25 if you make it either permanent holiday or, am I looking at that right?
You're talking about the district office calendar, so how's it gonna affect the teachers? I'm still confused.
It won't.
Just
How's it gonna affect summer
Well,
school?
the only way it would affect summer school is usually if the district office is closed, we usually don't have schools open for summer school because they wouldn't have a support person to be there if they needed us. But I don't guess they have to, I don't know how that works.
I think Dr. Smith's intent was if the board chooses to close the district office on Juneteenth, then summer school would not be in session. And that day would have to be made up either on the front end of summer school or on the rear end of summer school because they've got to get 20 days. Those teachers would not be paid for that day, but they're gonna be paid for 20 days no matter what. On a floating holiday, if it is a floating holiday with the department heads managing when those, employees would take off, those 12-month employees would take off, then you keep your summer school in session, because then they would have the support at the district office at least all 5 days. I think that's Dr. Smith's intent in my conversation with her. That's the difference between option 1 and option 2.
We don't ever just add it to the calendar, just leave it as a floating holiday? Or do y'all wanna, I mean, I'll
I
take.
see validity in both calendars. I mean, I think I was one of them that made the comment that I think we should look at adding them. But I mean, it does complicate things, for everybody, but I'm fine either way. I think we should do either 1 or 2, personally. We're already doing 1, I didn't know that, I didn't understand that from the conversation, that we're already using it as a floating holiday, I wasn't aware of that. I missed that somewhere.
Yeah, right, it's actually second option, but yeah, we're doing the district-wide floating holiday.
But I do hate to complicate.
Michelle, was there any disruption of service, either at the central office or with summer school, the way you did it last year with the,
No,
everything works?
because we had somebody in the office every day that week, we just took it, like Mr. Rutherford said, let me know which days you wanna take, and we just made sure somebody was here in the office while summer school was still working. So we just didn't take it on the actual Juneteenth day, but we took it the week of Juneteenth. But we did denote the holiday, so we did honor the holiday.
And we can put it on the calendar, in that sense, it actually gets recognized and it's attributed to the holiday. Right now, you don't see it on there. It's being observed, you just don't see it.
I think that's the issue. We're doing it, observing it, but it's not showing up on the calendar.
I sort of feel like, we don't have any other floating holidays. It's a federal holiday, on add it, I would just need to add it as just a holiday. I'm good with doing 1, but that's my opinion.
And one of the things is that I'm aware of learning loss and the importance of the summer school. I know what we need to do concerning that, well aware of that. But for me and most of the community I serve, Juneteenth means so much. It's just, just hits a certain place and space for us, yeah. And I wish we could find a way to figure it out where it helps everybody, because I know our kids need to be in some school, I know that, I wish there was some way. But I ain't gonna fight it, but I wish there was some way that we could actually get it on the calendar.
So, again, I have a question, if you do go the first day of July, and you can still do the second session of summer school, right, without any conflict?
Well, the issue becomes the fiscal year you're dipping into, like our summer grant ends June the 30th, when we write the budget for it. And so that puts Lisa and finance department in a bind, closing out books, because she's having to pay part of it in this year, and our grant's only in 1 fiscal year, it's not in 2 fiscal years.
That's why they do it for closing. So there'd be
And
somebody here.
the other option is for us to start it in May. We can start summer school in May, it just usually puts us starting it Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or however. We have to pick up in May of Memorial Day on the years that June didn't have 21 days in it. It just, will kids start coming in the middle of the week? also sometimes use that week for third grade retention makeup TCAP test, because we also have our third grade retake that we have to worry about within that period as well. But we can manage whatever you all decide. We will make it work.
We will manage it.
We will make it work.
Well, I think we should add it. I mean, I personally, I think we should add the federal holiday. I mean, you know, I think you are correct. Columbus Day is the only day that I don't see that we're not off. I think we're off every other holiday except for that one day. And I think we should add it personally, that's my opinion.
It's a floating holiday?
No. It's a holiday.
I think it should be added as a holiday because the way it looks now, it looks like that we don't even acknowledge it at all. Because people don't see it. And I think they need to have a visual to actually be able to see that that's actually acknowledged as a holiday.
And I hate it gets real complicated, I do, I hate that it's complicated things, but that's again, as you said, that's my opinion.
I don't disagree with adding it, but why would you not put the floating holiday out beside it like Ms. Carter talked about?
Well, I think it's just, because I think if people want off, they might not be able to get off if it's a floating holiday. I mean, I don't know how many of your teachers would want off. Your staff can manage from the central office point of view, but I think the teachers might be more the ones that might not get the day off if they want to get off. Because I don't know, do they sub on those days?
They can.
They have sub those days?
They can.
You know, I don't know, I just think it's a new holiday to our country, and I just think we should honor it. I think that's my opinion.
And I think like Mr. Katie said, we don't have any other floating holidays, so why make that one floating holiday?
Anybody else? Well, I'll entertain a motion, however way you want to put it.
We'll make a motion, we do it as a floating holiday.
Okay.
A second.
Okay, the motion's made by Ms. Ayler, listed on the calendar as a holiday. Let's signify that it's to be used as a floating holiday any day of the week, okay? And it was seconded by Mr. Ross, is that the way you understood? Motion is. Okay, any discussion or any more questions? Okay, I know we're not gonna be unanimous on this, so I've already asked Leah to do a roll call, so we'll do a roll call vote. Get this started.
Atkins,
No.
Ayler,
Yes.
Chris,
No.
Carter,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
King,
No.
Hope,
No.
Ross.
Yes.
Okay. It's just right down the middle. So it failed, in other words. And keep in mind, we've got to have, it's not a majority of the members present, it's a member of the board, so we have to have 5 votes for it to pass. So do I have another motion? I'm afraid it's gonna be right down the middle, but it could be a motion that's gonna completely make things right, so I'll entertain a motion to do something else.
Well, I move that we add Juneteenth to the calendar
For all employees.
for all employees.
All district office employees, right?
No,
And some.
Because we're just dealing with the district office.
yeah, but in turn, it's gonna close summer school.
Yeah, for that day.
this is, yeah, to your point, it is a district-wide holiday, it's just a district calendar is all we're going with, yes. Yeah, good point, it's just a district calendar. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, the motion's been made to make Juneteenth a holiday for the district office, to be a one-day holiday for the district office to be closed. Do I have a second?
Brad second.
Brad, Mr. Polk seconded, okay. Is there any more discussion or questions on that motion? Okay, we'll do another roll call.
Atkins,
Yes.
Taylor,
No.
Chris,
Yes.
Carter. No. Henderson,
No.
King,
Yes.
Pope,
Yes.
and Ross.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we're okay, we're still, there's nothing put us on a timetable, we can move.
Not to my
No,
knowledge.
no, okay. If there's no objection, if we have to have a work session to iron this out and have a tag team, we'll do it. I mean, we've got to do everything else together, we'll get through this. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, if we have to have a work session before our next board meeting, maybe a little bit of guidance from Dr. Smith may help us, make a decision one way or the other. So if that's the case, we'll get through it, no problem. Okay, next we have a policy review. We only have one policy, and since this has nothing to do with TSBA, it will not be the first and second reading. And it is the employment of retirees. And it's just, we're adding sick days for this group. It is not, like I said, it's not TSBA model policy, and TSBA didn't have any days in their policy. Ms. Higgs, do you want to address anything you want to?
I can, and I've left my policy on my desk, I'll copy this. So, effective, I think it was July 1, 2022. No, 2021. Retirees could come back to work for our district. It is teachers only, retired teachers, on what I call the 70% rule, and I'm gonna ask Leah Knuckles as HR if I say something wrong to correct me. Meaning that they are drawing 70% of their retirement from TCRS, but they're also coming back to work for us, drawing full pay. Okay? So that is an option that the legislature put in. July 1, 2021, effective for that school year. So let's talk about a teacher who was teaching previously. That teacher who was teaching previously, who was not retired, accrues 1 sick day per month. Those days accumulate. At the end, when that teacher decides to retire, those sick days can be turned in to retirement, and every 20 days counts for an additional month of service. Okay? So the current policy, so when the teacher comes back and he or she is drawing 70% of the retirement and drawing full pay for us, they're already getting their retirement benefit from TCRS. So there's nothing to do with those days. They don't accumulate. And there's nothing to turn them back into TCRS because the benefit's already been computed. So our policy did not allow for sick days for these individuals who have come back. In the 2021-22 school year, we had maybe 1 or 2 individuals, I think. They didn't miss any days. We have picked up more of those individuals in the 22-23 year. So then they miss for whatever, a doctor's appointment or whatever. Oh, do I get a paid day? Oh, our policy doesn't allow for it. Those individuals are in our classroom every day, they're teaching. They can't make their doctor's appointments at 9 o'clock on a Friday, etc. So this is put in there to allow them a sick day a month, but it would not accumulate. So if that teacher didn't miss any, and he or she has 10, that 10 goes nowhere. It's gone at the end of May. It's gone nowhere. It doesn't accumulate. And if that teacher comes back the next year, it starts all over again. So this is what this allows for. Leah, did I explain that correctly?
And then it also, they're allowed the bereavement days.
Yes.
According to policy.
Yes, because it didn't allow them, our current policy that you guys passed and was TSBA drafted, didn't allow for that either, so.
Thank you for that explanation. Any questions? You really did a good job explaining that.
Well, thank you. And you know, when the state legislature, this is my opinion, and I think this is our attorney's opinion, when they pass these, I'm not saying anything's wrong with this, but they don't think it through about how it's going to affect the detail. And we polled other districts. Some districts are allowing it, some districts are not. TCRS, we call them. It's up to you guys, to whatever's in your policy.
Any questions? Having none, that is the first reading. We will not be voting on that. So just keep that in the back of your mind, and we will be voting on that in our next meeting. Okay, next we'll move into our committee reports, and the first one is our budget committee, and Mr. Atkins.
I think we only have one amendment, and it is to the general purpose fund, and it is, this will represent the amount that we're receiving for the outcomes funding. I don't know if y'all remember those formulas, but the outcome funding had several variables, and this is what we received as the final funding for the TISA, and it's $266,000, and you can see where it's broken down to increasing each one of those categories. Remember that we still don't understand TISA. We won't for several years. It's the new funding formula. It's going to be a learning curve for us in the budget and for the board and Lisa and her department. So I think it's going to be kind of a moving target for several years to try to figure it out. So they're doing a good job of trying to nail down all the minute details, but it's going to take a while. And that's another thing that I would add, when you talk to your county commissioners, please make sure that they understand that, because, you know, we don't know, this year we might receive this, next year we might not, we don't know. You know, we had the original formula down pretty much pat, we kind of knew and understood that, and this is all new and it's changed, and when Lisa calls somebody and asks them, they cannot give her an answer because they don't know, and they're the ones that's providing the funding sources to her. So that's a big question mark in the sky for us as a school board and a school system. So please remember that. And I guess I'm going off on some narratives before I finish that amendment. But the other thing I wanted to add is ESSER is ending in June, and that we have used a lot of that money for different areas in the school, and so those funds will not be available either, because we paid for a lot of different staff members, a lot of different things out of that ESSER 3.0, and so that's going to be gone. And again, that's something that our county commissioners know because they're receiving money as well, but they need to be reminded of that fact. Getting back to the amendment, that was our final calculations for this year, so that comes as a recommendation to increase our general purpose fund budget. Okay. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer. If not, Lisa.
Any questions on that? Do I have a second for that budget amendment?
Second.
Second by Mr. King. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything else, Mr. Atkins?
It's
this next committee report will be, the Director of School Evaluation Committee. They met right before our board meeting tonight, and Reverend Chris, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. We did meet right before the board meeting, and what we are recommending for the director's evaluation, we recommend using the tool that was developed through the board and TSBA. And we also are recommending, as far as the timeline is concerned, that the administrators and the board members get the evaluation April 1st through April 23rd. And TSBA is going to do the tabulation for us and get it back to us. And the outcome of the evaluation will be reported at our May 7th board meeting.
Y'all got a lot done in 30 minutes, didn't you? Might need to be board chairman, I tell you. Okay, now is that TSBA sending out the evaluations to us?
TSBA would send it out, right, to us and the administrators, right?
Okay. That comes as recommendation. Is there a second to that?
I second.
Second by Ms. Carter. Is there any discussion or questions? It seemed to work good in the past, and I like the dates, everything's pinpointed down, so that's great. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for that. Next, we need to set our retreat dates. I know in your mind you're thinking you've already set them, but Dr. Smith's surgery has come, it's gonna be really pushing at her coming back. She has mentioned to me, March the 7th and 8th, she was going to be at a TOS meeting or some type of superintendent's meeting, but she did say she could come back early for that if we wanted to do the 7th and 8th. I believe going by memory, but yeah, it's up there. The 29th of February and the 1st of March, there's a conflict with some board members. There's a conflict in the middle of March for some. Do those dates look okay, or? Be a Thursday and a Friday, Thursday afternoon and a Friday.
The 7th and the 8th is more suitable for my schedule.
It's good for me too.
Any conflict? Good? Okay. I don't think we put that in the form of a motion, do we? Huh? You think we did? I don't think so. Okay, so that we will set that for March the 7th and 8th. I believe the times will be determined later, but I believe what we kind of mentioned before, 4 or 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon, we can get a work session in, a supper, and maybe another work session, and then we'll go all day, for most of the day Friday, so. Thank y'all for coming to that consensus real quick. At this time, I'll open the floor to any public comment. All right, if there is none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Ross, second by Mr. King, all in favor say aye. Any opposed?